Welcome to Mastermind Roundtable of Financial Executive Club. Through this short video, we are going to share some important concepts, right, about stablecoin. What are stablecoins and what are the potential impact to their daily lives? Maybe Andrew, do you want to start first? So, what are stablecoins?
I think it's a less risky form of cryptocurrency because technically you have to be pegged to either for example, US dollar or Hong Kong dollar. A government asset. So I think in terms of stablecoin, it's a more risk-averse version in terms of looking at cryptocurrency, and also in terms of the global markets going forward, like the future of currency, stablecoin is pretty much going to form a big part of different countries, what they're doing, like US, the Genius Act as well, and then Hong Kong, recently there's the bill that's been passed as well. Australia, in a way, I think because we are talking about Australia today, I think we should mention it is a bit slow in terms of adoption of stablecoins, especially a government-backed stablecoin. There are plans, from what I hear, in the industry, but there's no concrete dates at the moment, like Hong Kong or US. So in terms of they're lagging behind in that sense.
I see.
Yeah, there's some news talking about stablecoin, but isn't that hot compared to Hong Kong or US? But eventually, I think they will pick up very soon.
Because I actually remember for Australia, I think the discussion probably date back to 2022 or 2023. They did discuss about how to classify stablecoins. They treated it as like a tokenized store value facility, tokenized SVF. Because another question people also ask is, how should we treat stablecoins? Are they cash or are they financial products? I think this category is also important because if you treat it as cash, they don't need so many regulations, right? But if you treat it as financial products, then the entire ecosystem will require a lot of licensing, reporting, disclosure, right? And the government also need to consider how to protect the consumers as well. So, and back to Andrew, you just said about stablecoin. By the term, they are stable because they are pegged against fiat currencies, either USD, either local currency, AUD, right, or US Treasuries, and it's on one-to-one basis. That means you are the issuer of stablecoins. You issue $10 million, you got to have 10 million at the back as collateral, right? And that stablecoin also comes in different categories. Fiat currency collateralized is one type. Another type is, of course, collateralized by cryptos, right? So that's why the value of the stablecoin, if they are collateralized by crypto, it will be more volatile. How are risk managers or chief risk executives look at stablecoins?
We look at the broader risk. I think, there's also the consumer risk, but I think the bigger risk here is, it's the geopolitical risk. I think in the future it's going to become a geopolitical tool because it is also in a way how you manage geopolitical risk in the future. I think the US debt is quite high. Donald Trump came up with the Genius Act to really continue that because going forward, if US dollar is going to keep maintaining that power, this is going to be very important now. So that's why Hong Kong is following suit as well with the bill. And then Australia is quite in the middle. I think when you look at Australia, China is a big partner, especially imports. So how are we going to go about going forward if they don't actually go into that race, into the stablecoin race, especially with everything that's happening in the world right now? If anything happens, any sanctions happens, the SWIFT payment issues as well, how are they going to resolve that going forward? So I think from an Australian perspective, I think it's important that the government actually get on that bandwagon and actually take this as an opportunity rather than a risk. And I think, like, going back to the question about the customer risk, I think there is an issue with especially cybersecurity. There has been a lot of talks about hacking issues, but it's going to be the same as using a credit card or different kind of things. But I think stablecoin will be more safer. I think as we can see, a lot of it's actually a lot harder to hack cybersecurity like cryptocurrency as well, especially when you look at the industry as well, because there will be more layers and also difficult to find and identify. So when the hackers try to hack, it's actually a lot harder. So in that way, I think it's actually safer than your typical credit cards as well.
I mean, you're right. Fundamentally, stablecoins are operating on blockchain. So and the transactions are recorded on the distributed ledgers. Stablecoin is because it's quite hard for hackers to change anything in the blockchain world. So you talk about the US version of stablecoins, why they issue the Genius Act, right? That's another interesting topic because yes, the US government, they want to attract more buyers or to improve the liquidity of US treasuries or US bonds, right? USDT and USDC, if they're going to issue new stablecoins, they need to have US currency or US treasuries as the collateral, right? So that means when they issue stablecoins or when people redeem, they will be, buying and selling of US treasuries or US bonds, right? But this is actually subject to argument. If you look at the actual transaction volume, right? Don't forget who are the largest holder of US debt? The Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is the largest holder of US debt, actually. So, but there might be some impact of stablecoin on the liquidity of US Treasury or US bonds. But I think the level of impact is subject to argument. And I think another thing people also ask about is, okay, why stablecoin are so popular? How do they compare with fiat currencies, especially when it comes to our day-to-day life, right? Say, for example, if Nelson, you want to send $1,000 from Melbourne to Hong Kong to me, right? If we're using the transition banking system, the money will go through several banks, go through intermediary.
It take a couple of days.
Bank, take a couple of days, and higher cost as well, right? And also it needs to go through the clearing system. But if you send by stablecoins, because it is operating on blockchain, and so it allows peer-to-peer transfers, right? And also almost real time. So the transaction transfer actually happens within a few seconds or a few minutes, and it comes with lower cost as well.
I think people used to be more confident if it is under regulation, just like US and Hong Kong. Previously, there's no regulation behind. So it's not transparent to the public. Just like, is it really one-to-one or not? We don't know. But nowadays, it's more transparent and is governed by the local government. So people will have more confidence using the stablecoin going forward.
Yeah, I think better clarity and more regulations and also higher level of consumer protection. I remember I read a news about 2025 is a year of stablecoins. But I think another thing people may be thinking about, especially those rich people, in terms of asset allocation, right? So should they actually convert part of their wealth from fiat money to stablecoins? Maybe some of them already did, right? Because if people actually trade cryptos, trade bitcoins many years ago, stablecoin is actually a good way to support crypto trading because of its stability in value.
I just want to know, in Hong Kong nowadays, can people start using stablecoin consuming? Can they use stablecoin now?
I don't see it yet. Not sure Andrew see it or not, because I think, as Andrew said, the Hong Kong MA just published a stablecoin bill, right? A while ago, after a long time of consultation and sandbox testing by banks and major participants. So if you look at the ecosystem of stablecoin, there are several participants, right? The stablecoin issuer, the regulator, and the dealers, right? Exchanges, right? And so different parties are actually getting prepared for the launch of stablecoins. So you can imagine maybe now in Hong Kong, there are a few organizations that can issue stablecoins. In the meantime, there are maybe a whole bunch of other organizations. They are applying and to get permits from Hong Kong MA to issue stablecoins, right? And not just not just banks, but also some big corporates as well, such as like Jingdong, right? So I think the landscape is evolving, but definitely the reason why I foresee there will be a huge change in next 6 to 12 months is because basically all the major stakeholders, they are taking actions very proactively.
I think also add to this, I think the biggest disruption will be more for the merchant side rather than the consumer side. I think traditionally credit cards you have like 2.5% or 3% or even 8%, like even 5%, right, of fees. I think it's usually borne by the merchants. I think one benefit will be the business from the business side to save merchant fees. Imagine that could be like millions of dollars in fees saved already.
It's a huge amount.
Just using stablecoin, for example. But I think another part is also B2B as well, because that's instant payments as well. Also, that will be an impact there as well in terms of they use credit cards as well before, then now they use stablecoin. Now, again, the fees as well. I think from a consumer side, the impact will be less because credit card is very easy to use right now. Still, everything is just tap and go very quickly. But in terms of, I think, for business side and merchants, that will be significant opportunities in using stablecoin to save money and in this market.
You mentioned a good point. In Australia, I'm not sure you guys if you know or not. When we use credit card for any payment, the consumer need to bear the credit card surcharge, like 1 to 2%. Depends. For example, Visa or Master used to be 1.5 to 1.7. And then if you use American Express, it will take up to 2%. And it's borne by the consumer. Now the government is going to propose to waive the credit card surcharge in the near future because it doesn't make sense at all why the consumer has to bear the credit card surcharge. So if using stablecoin going forward is benefit to the consumer as well because they no longer need to pay any surcharge. Even nowadays, some of the elderly, they are very reluctant to use credit card because it doesn't make any sense to pay credit card surcharge. So they are still using physical money. But the point is not every shop or restaurant accept physical money. They only take credit card. It will become popular in the near future in Australia.
I totally agree. I think the card issuers like MasterCard or Visa cards, I mean, they have to catch up and also integrate stablecoins into their payment system. Entire ecosystem, all participants are shifting their current model and get prepared to integrate stablecoin into their current.
I think another one is PayPal.
PayPal as well. Yes, you're right.
PayPal is especially expensive in terms of the fees. So I think that will be quite disrupted with stablecoin, especially if the fees are very low or minimal. That would be especially if now everyone is online, all the online retailers, and all the biggest markets, eBay as well. Everyone, well, they're gonna be using stablecoin instead of PayPal. And I think then the merchants on the merchant side they will save a lot. And also on the conversion fees, in terms of the consumers will save a lot as well because PayPal, the currency conversion is actually quite bad in comparison to rates as well. So in general, I think that's going to be quite a big disruption in that space.
Yeah, and I think it's also a huge opportunity for the e-wallet operators. In the future, all corporations, all retail customers, they have stablecoins in their e-wallets. This is a huge business for the e-wallet operators. It seems based on our discussion in the last 20 minutes, the benefits basically overweight the risk. it seems the case, right?
But bear in mind that Andrew mentioned about the cybersecurity. In Australia, there's cybersecurity is one of the very hot topic because I moved to Australia for 4 years and then I heard a lot of cybersecurity incident in the past 2 to 3 years. For example, the recent one is Qantas Airline. Over 6 million of customer details has been leaked to the public. It's because someone hacked to their system. So not just airline, but some of the bank or telecommunication company.
And I think it's also because of the advancement of AI, right?
AI is another hot topic here as well.
AI and deepfake, right? Or ransomware. Those hackers use very advanced AI technique or technology to hack into your system. I mean, those are the threats that we have to deal with in nowadays AI era. I think it's good discussion today and hope our audience will find this episode useful.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay,
very
thank you
much.
so much, Andrew. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.